Are you over 60 and noticing that even with regular meals, your strength, balance, or muscle tone seem to be slipping away little by little? You are not imagining it. After the age of 60, the average person loses up to 1% of their muscle mass every year, and that number can climb even higher if nutrition, hormones, and activity are not carefully aligned. This gradual loss of lean muscle, known as sarcopenia, is not just about appearance. It affects your metabolism, your energy, your ability to burn fat, and even how well you recover from illness. Here is what is really going on inside your body. When you cross into your 60s, several internal systems begin to shift. Your muscles become less sensitive to the signal of amino acids, the building blocks of protein that normally tell your body it is time to build. Scientists call this anabolic resistance. In simple terms, it means your muscles are still listening, but the volume of the signal has been turned way down. At the same time, hormones that once supported muscle growth, such as testosterone, growth hormone, and insulin-like growth factor, begin to decline. And if you are not eating enough of the right kinds of protein, or if your digestion and absorption have weakened with age, your body simply does not get what it needs to rebuild efficiently. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your muscles as a construction site. When you were younger, your body had plenty of workers, plenty of materials, and a steady delivery schedule. But now, the workers have slowed down. The materials arrive inconsistently, and the manager, your hormones, is only on site part of the time. The result? The construction slows, and over time, the structure begins to weaken. But here is the empowering truth. This process is not inevitable. Emerging research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition and other studies has shown that certain foods rich in specific amino acids and bioactive compounds can actually reactivate muscle-building signals even in older adults. One food in particular stands out for its ability to reignite muscle synthesis and reverse sarcopenia naturally and safely. In today's session, we are going to uncover exactly what that food is, how it works inside your metabolism, and how you can integrate it into your daily meals to rebuild lean muscle, enhance energy, and restore youthful strength. No supplements or extreme workouts required. If you are ready to take back your strength and vitality after 60, stay with me, because this one simple addition to your diet can quite literally change the way your body ages. Here is what is really going on inside your body when you begin losing muscle after 60. It is not that your muscles have suddenly forgotten how to grow. It is that your body's internal communication system, the signals that tell your muscles to repair, rebuild, and maintain themselves, has grown weaker and less coordinated. Think of your muscle tissue as a high-performance factory. Every day, it receives raw materials, proteins from your diet, and converts them into new muscle fibers through a process called muscle protein synthesis. When you were younger, this process ran smoothly. Your hormones, enzymes, and cellular receptors all spoke the same language. But with age, the factory becomes less responsive. Researchers call this anabolic resistance. It means your muscles become resistant to the normal build signals from amino acids. Even when you eat protein, your muscle cells do not respond as efficiently. Imagine knocking on a door that once opened easily, now you have to knock louder and longer to get the same response. Several things drive this resistance. First, your hormone levels shift. Testosterone, growth hormone, and insulin-like growth factor naturally decline with age. These hormones are the foremen of your muscle-building factory. Without their clear instructions, the workers slow down. Second, inflammation begins to rise silently. Chronic low-grade inflammation, often linked to poor gut health, processed foods, or blood sugar imbalances, releases molecules called cytokines. These cytokines interfere with muscle repair and actually signal your body to break down muscle for energy. Third, insulin sensitivity drops. Insulin is not just about blood sugar. It is also an anabolic hormone, meaning it helps build tissue. When your body becomes resistant to insulin, your muscles stop getting the signal to absorb amino acids and glucose, the exact fuel they need to grow stronger. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your muscle cells as sponges that once soaked up water instantly. Over time, they become dry and stiff. When you pour water on them, it just rolls off the surface. You have to rehydrate the sponge before it can absorb properly again. In the same way, your muscles need to be resensitized to amino acids and insulin to begin rebuilding effectively. The good news is that this process can be reversed. Research from the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle has shown that targeted nutrition combined with certain bioactive compounds can restore anabolic sensitivity even in older adults. That means your muscles can start listening again. You simply need to send the right signal. So how do you turn that signal back on? The answer lies not just in eating more protein, but in eating the right type of protein, one that contains high levels of leucine, a key amino acid that directly activates M2-OR, your body's internal muscle building switch. In the next section, we will talk about how your body uses protein differently as you age and why most older adults are eating in a way that feeds calories but not muscle. Understanding this shift is essential because once you learn to speak your body's new biochemical language, you can restart the process of growth naturally. If you are finding this helpful so far, consider subscribing. I post new science-based insights like this every day to help you master your metabolism, protect your strength, and age with vitality. When most people hear that they are losing muscle, their first instinct is to simply eat more protein. It seems logical. Protein builds muscle, so more should be better. But here's the real story. Once you pass 60, your body no longer processes protein the same way it did in your 30s or 40s. The machinery still works, but it needs a stronger and more specific signal to activate. Here is what is really going on inside your body. Each time you eat protein, it is broken down in your digestive tract into amino acids, the tiny building blocks that your muscles use to rebuild and repair. In younger adults, just a modest amount of protein, around 15 to 20 grams, can fully trigger a process called muscle protein synthesis. But for older adults, that threshold rises significantly. Studies from the American Journal of Physiology show that after 60, your muscles require closer to 25 to 35 grams of high-quality protein per meal to fully activate muscle building. That means if you are eating small portions of protein, like a single egg at breakfast or a few bites of chicken at lunch, your body might not be getting enough of a signal to start building at all. The amino acids circulate, but the muscle machinery stays idle, like turning the key in a car that does not have enough fuel to start the engine. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your muscles as a light bulb connected to a dimmer switch. When you were younger, even a faint current of amino acids could light it up brightly, but with age, the resistance in the wiring increases. Now, you need a stronger current, a higher concentration of amino acids to make the light shine at the same intensity. Among all the amino acids, one stands out as the master switch, leucine. Leucine is like the spark that flips on the machinery of protein synthesis by activating a pathway called M2R, the cellular command center for growth and repair. Without enough leucine, the switch stays off, even if you eat plenty of general protein. So, what foods deliver this signal most effectively? Animal proteins like eggs, fish, lean poultry, and dairy tend to be rich in leucine, while many plant proteins, though healthy, contain lower levels. This does not mean plant-based eaters cannot build muscle. It just means they need to be more strategic about combining sources such as soy, lentils, and quinoa to reach that leucine threshold. Another important factor is timing. Many older adults eat very little protein early in the day and then try to make up for it at dinner. But research shows that spacing protein evenly across your meals, roughly 30 grams per meal, keeps the muscle-building machinery active throughout the day. Think of it as giving your muscles 3 opportunities to grow instead of just 1. Finally, do not forget the role of digestion. Stomach acid and enzyme production naturally decrease with age, making it harder to break down and absorb protein efficiently. Supporting your digestion with simple habits, such as eating slowly, including a squeeze of lemon or apple cider vinegar before meals, or adding fermented foods, can improve how well you extract amino acids from what you eat. So, the key takeaway is this. After 60, your goal is not just more protein, but smart protein, rich in leucine, well distributed through the day, and supported by healthy digestion. When you align these 3 factors, you retrain your body to respond like it did decades earlier. In the next section, we will go even deeper and examine how insulin, inflammation, and cellular signaling either protect or destroy your muscle tissue, and how one specific food helps restore balance to all three systems at once. Here is what is really going on inside your body when you find it hard to build or keep muscle after 60, even if you are eating well. It comes down to two silent forces working in opposite directions: insulin resistance and chronic inflammation. These two factors quietly decide whether your body is in a state of building or breakdown. Let us start with insulin. Most people think of insulin only as a blood sugar hormone, but it is also one of your body's key anabolic hormones, meaning it helps you build tissue, not just regulate glucose. When insulin works properly, it delivers amino acids, glucose, and nutrients directly into muscle cells, where they are used for repair and growth. But when your body becomes resistant to insulin, the message stops getting through. Imagine insulin as a delivery driver carrying a package labeled muscle fuel. In a healthy body, the muscle cell opens the door immediately and accepts the delivery. But with insulin resistance, the cell becomes less responsive. The door stays closed and the package is left outside. Over time, those missed deliveries mean your muscles starve of the raw materials they need to rebuild. The second force is inflammation. As we age, the immune system tends to stay slightly overactive, releasing a steady trickle of inflammatory molecules called cytokines. These cytokines interfere with insulin signaling, worsen anabolic resistance, and even break down existing muscle fibers for energy. It is like a slow-burning fire smoldering inside your tissues. This inflammatory pattern often begins in the gut. When digestion weakens or the intestinal lining becomes compromised, tiny food particles and bacterial fragments enter the bloodstream, triggering immune alarm bells. That is why improving gut health is often one of the most effective ways to restore muscle health, because it cools the internal fire that blocks growth. Now, here's where nutrition becomes your most powerful medicine. Certain foods contain bioactive compounds that help your cells respond better to insulin and calm inflammation at the same time. For example, omega-3 fatty acids from fish improve muscle protein synthesis and reduce cytokine activity. Polyphenols found in berries, olive oil, and green tea enhance mitochondrial function and stabilize blood sugar. But there is one particular food, which we will reveal shortly, that directly targets both insulin sensitivity and inflammation while delivering the amino acids your muscles crave. It acts almost like a natural reset button for your metabolism, helping your body switch back into a muscle-building state. Let me illustrate this with a simple analogy. Think of your metabolism as a thermostat. When insulin resistance and inflammation rise, it is as though the thermostat is stuck on breakdown. Your body burns muscle instead of fat and stores more energy in the wrong places. But when you restore insulin sensitivity and lower inflammation, that thermostat resets. Your system begins directing energy back toward growth, repair, and lean tissue maintenance. One of the most encouraging studies, published in the journal Nature Metabolism, showed that older adults who improved insulin sensitivity through targeted nutrition and moderate activity were able to increase muscle mass by over 10% within just 12 weeks without changing total calories. The secret was not eating more, but eating smarter. So, to prepare for what comes next, keep this in mind: your food choices can either fan the flames of inflammation and resistance or put them out completely. And one specific food, which we will discuss next, has been scientifically shown to do exactly that by reactivating your mTOR switch and directly fueling lean muscle growth. If this is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I share practical, science-backed tools like this every day to help you rebuild energy, balance hormones, and strengthen your body naturally. Now that we understand how insulin, inflammation, and protein metabolism all work together, let us uncover the one powerful food that can help you reverse muscle loss naturally after 60. That food is eggs. Simple, affordable, and profoundly effective when used strategically. Here is what is really going on inside your body when you eat eggs. Eggs contain one of the most complete and bioavailable sources of protein found in nature. Each egg delivers roughly 6 to 7 grams of high-quality protein, packed with all 9 essential amino acids. but most importantly, they are exceptionally rich in leucine. As we discussed earlier, leucine is the key amino acid that flips on your mTOR switch, the biochemical command that tells your body it is time to build muscle. What makes eggs unique is that their amino acids are in the exact ratio your body needs to synthesize new tissue efficiently. The protein in eggs is used as the gold standard by which scientists measure all other proteins. But the benefits go even deeper. The yolk, which many people still avoid, is actually where most of the muscle-supporting nutrients live. Inside the yolk, you will find vitamin D, choline, omega-3 fatty acids, and bioactive phospholipids that support hormone balance and reduce inflammation. Vitamin D in particular enhances muscle strength by improving calcium uptake and directly supporting the contractile fibers in muscle cells. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your muscle tissue as a team of construction workers waiting for supplies. The egg white delivers the bricks, amino acids, while the yolk provides the energy, tools, and blueprints needed to actually assemble the structure. You need both to complete the job effectively. Now, what does the research say? A clinical trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared muscle growth in older adults who consumed whole eggs versus those who consumed egg whites only after resistance training. The group eating whole eggs showed significantly greater muscle protein synthesis, even though the total protein intake was identical. The reason was simple. The yolk's additional nutrients amplified the signaling pathways that drive muscle repair. Beyond that, eggs help improve insulin sensitivity. Their balanced combination of protein and fat slows glucose absorption, preventing spikes in blood sugar that can worsen insulin resistance. And their choline content supports liver function, an often overlooked organ in metabolic health, helping your body process nutrients efficiently. So, how should you use eggs strategically? Aim for 1 to 2 whole eggs at breakfast, combined with another protein source like Greek yogurt, smoked salmon, or a small portion of lentils if you are plant-based. This early day protein pulse helps overcome morning anabolic resistance and sets your body into a muscle-building mode for the rest of the day. If you are concerned about cholesterol, the evidence has evolved. Multiple large-scale studies, including those from Harvard University and the Cleveland Clinic, have shown that for most healthy adults, moderate egg consumption, up to 1 egg per day, does not increase cardiovascular risk. In fact, the nutrients within the yolk may actually improve lipid profiles and lower inflammation. Another practical strategy is to pair eggs with antioxidant-rich vegetables like spinach, tomatoes, or mushrooms. The phytonutrients in these vegetables work synergistically with the amino acids in eggs to protect muscle tissue from oxidative stress, one of the silent contributors to sarcopenia. So, when you add it all together, the leucine for muscle activation, the healthy fats for hormone regulation, the choline for liver health, and the vitamin D for strength, you see why this humble food earns its place as a true muscle-preserving powerhouse for anyone over 60. In the next section, we will explore the timing, combinations, and specific strategies to make this food work even harder for you, including how to build a daily rhythm that maximizes repair and minimizes loss, meal by meal. Now that you know why eggs are so effective at reversing muscle loss, the next question is how to use them most strategically. Because when it comes to rebuilding muscle after 60, timing and combination matter just as much as what you eat. Here is what is really going on inside your body. Your muscles respond to protein impulses, short windows of opportunity, where amino acids flood the bloodstream and trigger a muscle-building signal. After that window closes, the signal fades, and the body shifts back into maintenance mode. For younger adults, that signal can stay strong for hours. But after 60, the window becomes shorter and the threshold for activation becomes higher. This means that instead of eating most of your protein at one meal, as many people do at dinner, you will get far greater benefit from distributing your protein evenly throughout the day. Aim for about 25 to 35 grams of protein at each meal. When you do this, you keep your muscle-building machinery switched on for longer periods. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your muscles as a fire that needs regular logs to keep burning. If you throw all the wood on at night, The fire burns hot for a while, but dies out by morning. If you add smaller logs throughout the day, the fire stays warm and steady. That is how your muscles respond to protein timing. So, how do we apply this practically using eggs as your foundation food? Start your morning with 1 to 2 whole eggs combined with another protein source such as Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a small serving of smoked salmon. This morning protein pulse helps overcome what scientists call overnight anabolic resistance, the period after fasting when your body has gone without amino acids for many hours. At lunch, include another serving of protein, ideally around 30 grams, from lean meats, legumes, or tofu, paired with fiber-rich vegetables and healthy fats like olive oil or avocado. This combination stabilizes blood sugar and prevents the mid-afternoon energy crash that often leads to muscle breakdown through elevated cortisol. For dinner, focus on lighter proteins that digest easily, perhaps eggs again in the form of an omelet with spinach or a piece of grilled fish with steamed vegetables. The goal is to provide steady amino acids without overloading digestion late in the evening. Now, timing does not only apply to meals. The timing of movement matters too. Studies published in Frontiers in Physiology have shown that consuming protein-rich foods like eggs within 2 hours after light resistance activity dramatically improves muscle protein synthesis, even in older adults. This does not mean you need to lift heavy weights. Simple bodyweight exercises, resistance bands, or even brisk walking followed by a protein-rich meal can switch your body into a growth phase. Hydration also plays a hidden role. Dehydrated muscles are less responsive to insulin and amino acids. Aim for consistent hydration, not by drinking large amounts at once, but by sipping water steadily through the day. Finally, pair your egg-based meals with micronutrient-rich vegetables and healthy fats. The antioxidants in spinach, tomatoes, or bell peppers help protect muscle cells from oxidative damage. Meanwhile, healthy fats like olive oil and omega-3s support hormone production, which is essential for maintaining anabolic balance. So, the takeaway is simple. It is not just what you eat, but how and when you eat it. Consistent pulses of high-quality protein, especially from eggs, evenly spaced throughout the day, combined with light movement and good hydration, create the perfect internal environment for muscle restoration. In the next section, we will take all these pieces, the science, the food, and the rhythm, and build a simple daily protocol you can start right away to rebuild your muscle energy and vitality from the inside out. Now that you understand the science behind muscle loss, from anabolic resistance and insulin sensitivity to the power of leucine-rich foods like eggs, let us turn this knowledge into a simple daily strategy you can begin immediately. Because knowing what to do is one thing, but doing it consistently is what truly transforms your body. Here is what is really going on inside your body when you follow a structured rhythm. Your metabolism thrives on predictability. When you eat, move, and rest in harmony with your internal clock, your hormones, digestion, and cellular repair systems begin to synchronize again. For older adults, this rhythmic stability is one of the most powerful tools to reignite lean muscle growth naturally. Let me walk you through what a muscle-restoring day can look like. Morning, the activation window. Within the first hour of waking, drink a glass of water to rehydrate and reawaken your cells. Then, have a protein-rich breakfast built around eggs. For example, 2 whole eggs cooked in olive oil, paired with sautéed spinach or tomatoes, and a small portion of Greek yogurt on the side. This combination delivers a balanced dose of amino acids, healthy fats, and micronutrients that immediately turn on your muscle-building pathways. After breakfast, take a short 10-minute walk. This light movement helps direct nutrients toward muscle cells and stabilizes insulin sensitivity for the rest of the morning. Midday, the maintenance phase. At lunch, aim for roughly 30 grams of protein. Combine a moderate portion of lean meat, fish, or legumes with colorful vegetables and a serving of healthy fats such as avocado or extra virgin olive oil. Add a small serving of fruit rich in polyphenols like berries or an apple to help reduce inflammation. If possible, take another short walk after your meal. Research shows that even brief, Low-intensity movement after eating can lower blood sugar spikes and improve nutrient uptake by up to 30%. Afternoon, the rebuild window. This is often when energy dips and cortisol, your stress hormone, rises. Cortisol in small amounts is natural, but when elevated for long periods, it breaks down muscle tissue. To counteract this, have a light protein snack such as a boiled egg, a handful of almonds, or a serving of cottage cheese. This small intervention keeps your body in a gentle anabolic state and prevents muscle catabolism. Evening, the recovery phase. For dinner, choose a lighter protein like fish, tofu, or an omelet, paired with steamed or roasted vegetables and a drizzle of olive oil. Avoid large carbohydrate-heavy meals at night. They can spike insulin and interfere with your body's overnight repair processes. Before bed, focus on sleep hygiene. Deep sleep is when your body releases growth hormone and repairs tissue. Aim for 7 to 8 hours in a cool, dark room. If sleep is a challenge, limit caffeine after noon and avoid screens at least 1 hour before bedtime. Weekly rhythm and movement. In addition to nutrition, include 3 sessions per week of gentle resistance training, bodyweight squats, wall push-ups, or light resistance bands. These movements signal your body to direct amino acids toward muscle rather than storing them as fat. Remember, the goal is consistency, not intensity. To summarize this daily protocol in one simple pattern, begin each day with hydration and a protein-rich meal based on eggs. Space your protein evenly, 30 grams per meal. Move briefly after each meal. Manage stress and prioritize deep sleep. This structured approach does not just rebuild muscle, it recalibrates your metabolism, strengthens your immune system, and enhances your vitality from the inside out. Let us bring everything together. If you are over 60, muscle loss is not simply an unavoidable part of aging. It is a signal. It is your body's way of saying that its internal communication systems have grown quieter, that the signals for repair and growth are not being heard as clearly as before. But now you know that those signals can be restored. Here is what is really going on inside your body. Muscle tissue is not just about strength or mobility. It is a living metabolic organ. It helps regulate blood sugar, burn fat, stabilize hormones, and even support immune function. When you rebuild muscle, you are not just adding lean mass, you are rebuilding your body's entire health foundation. We began by understanding that after 60, the body becomes less sensitive to the muscle-building signal from protein, a process called anabolic resistance. But science has shown that this can be reversed by using targeted nutrition, the right amino acids, and consistent timing. We then explored how insulin and inflammation quietly determine whether you are building or breaking down muscle. By stabilizing blood sugar and cooling inflammation, you shift your metabolism back into balance, allowing your body to rebuild naturally. And at the center of this approach is one remarkable food, the egg. It provides not only complete protein and Lucetta turn on your mTOR pathway, but also vitamin D, choline, and healthy fats that support hormones, liver function, and cellular recovery. Combined with the right timing, balanced meals, light resistance movement, and deep restorative sleep, this single dietary change becomes a catalyst for regeneration. It is not about overhauling your entire diet. It is about sending your body the right message over and over again until it remembers how to grow strong. Let me leave you with a simple challenge. Tomorrow morning, start your day differently. Have 2 whole eggs with a handful of spinach, drink a glass of water, and take a 10-minute walk. Then, simply pay attention to how your body feels, how your energy shifts, and how your strength begins to return. Because the first step toward reversing muscle loss is consistency, not perfection. And remember, every meal, every movement, every good night of sleep is a new opportunity to rebuild your vitality from the inside out. If this added value, like the video and subscribe to join others who are learning to optimize their health, energy, and longevity naturally through food, science, and consistency.